Hello familia, welcome to another YouTube video. Before we start, as always, please remember to like and subscribe because you can't imagine how much stress I'm going through at the moment. I'm literally flying in a couple of hours. I'm going back to Italy to see my family after a year that I haven't been able to see them. And I haven't even packed, and I just decided to come to the gym and just do a video for you because I didn't want to leave you for another week without a YouTube video. So now tell me if this is in love. What is it then? Okay, anyway, in today's video, we're going to be looking at how to target the under booty and the upper booty. What do we mean by those things? Is it a thing? Is it possible to target your under booty and upper booty, etc.? So I'm going to go in a minute downstairs to show you a couple of exercises, but just to give you a bit of an intro to understand how your glutes work. The first thing you need to know is that, of course, you know that your glutes are composed of 3 different muscles: gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. So you might just wonder then, how can we target the under booty or upper booty if there's 3 muscles? What do you mean? We are talking here in terms of areas, okay? When we're targeting our glutes, okay, these are the actually only 2 parts that we can actually target in our glutes. Upper booty. With upper booty, we mean side booty, okay? Because upper, obviously up is here. And we also mean with upper booty, gluteus medius and minimus, okay? With under booty, we mean the gluteus maximus, which is instead here. Okay, I feel a bit weird touching my own bum, but like, it's fine. You guys won't time. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? So that is the under booty that stays. This is the gluteus maximus. In this video, I'm going to be showing you all the different exercises that can do that. Okay, so without any further ado, let's go to the gym together and I'll show you some tricks. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to break down every single exercise and explain how it targets every single area of your glutes. So we're going to start first with the upper booty, aka we're going to start with the abductor machine, okay? The abductor machine tends to target this area over here, so the top area of your glutes, aka gluteus minimus and medius, okay? So you can notice that when I'm doing this exercise, let me just show you, you can actually see it moving as well, so you'll be able to see it straight away. See if you can see it. Okay. You can see here that it's targeting this little area over here. Okay. So some people might think, oh, am I going to be able to target my hip dips? You can't really mistake or confuse hip dips with your gluteus medius and minimus. In fact, there are some exercises like these ones that I'm going to be showing you that will be targeting those hip dips, for example. But hip dips are dependent on your genetics, okay? So whether you have more or less prominent hip dips, it depends entirely on the genetics, on your bone structure especially. So you can't, because it's made basically of fat, okay? That's filled with fat, and we're building muscle when we do these kind of things. We can kind of tighten that area and just maybe minimize the look of them slightly. However, we can never get rid of hip dips. So that is one thing that I wanted you to know. So that is one exercise that will target your top area of your glutes. So next exercise, nice and simple. I love some cable exercises. So for this, we're going to be needing a little strap, right? So I actually recommend getting this strap because most gyms won't have this, like ankle straps. If your gym has it, even better. But if not, I always recommend, because it's that cheap, to be fair. I only got it from Amazon. If you want, I'll just add the link in the description below if you wanted that too. And it's just so versatile. You can use that for your thigh, for your ankle, for the Smith machine to prevent it from the hook from getting stuck. So it's literally like that good. I use it every single leg day. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wrap my ankle. I'm going to make sure it's nice and secure, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to slightly, so I'm going to show you from this side so you can see me. So slightly leaning forward, okay? I always set the little cable thing to the last, to the very bottom of it. And I also want to hold onto the machine, just because it's easier. Because if you do this without, I suppose you could do it without, but as you start going heavier, then it'll get harder. So I always like to hold onto the machine, and just very nice and simple, just bring the leg, basically you kick it sideways, okay, so all the way down, okay. Another little variation of this that will target your side booty, external rotator kind of thing. I just put the machine, you must have seen me doing this as well, just slightly higher. And it's actually one of those exercises that I saw on Brett Contreras. I absolutely love him. Always looking forward, and the only thing you're moving is your leg. You're externally rotating your legs, if you make sense. So leg up, all the way to the side. So you don't want to do this with your torso, okay? The torso stays facing forward the whole time, and just move this to the side, okay? Another great exercise for your side booty. Our next exercise, we're going to be looking at banded exercises that are a bit easier for beginners as well. Again, they're going to be targeting your top area of your glutes. So generally speaking, banded exercises, the majority of them, they will always target, well, not all of them, but majority of them, they will always target your top area of your glutes, okay? So what I want you to do is every time you place your resistance band, usually you always place it just above your knees. Let me just go back so you can see me. Wait. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to simply do a banded monster walk. Again, it's a great exercise for beginners. You won't really feel it unless you do a high volume for this. So I want you to do, if you ever want to do this exercise, you must do at least 50, so between 30 to 50 reps, okay? I know that it sounds like a lot, but with this kind of exercise, when we're using a band, you have to go high volume, okay? So I would do this as an accessory. So I could do this in between as a superset, for example, as a warm-up, as a finisher, these kind of things. These are accessory exercises, okay? So it's very nice and simple. I want you to just bend slightly forward, as always, and you just simply move from one side to the other, as wide as you can, the whole time. And as I said before, I want you to do at least 50 reps for this, okay? You must have seen me doing it in like almost all of my videos. In fact, this is one of my favorites that I do. I just feel my glutes activating so much when I do this exercise. As always, everyone is always different. Genetically speaking, I could feel it, an exercise much more than someone else. We could be doing exactly the same amount of exercises and it's exactly the same intensity, but a person might be feeling that more because your genetics plays such a huge role when it comes to training. So that's why I never want you to compare yourself to me. We're never going to be exactly the same. So I want you to experiment. That's why I always show you different alternatives. For this one, the way I always like to do it, you've seen me doing it more, is the thigh hydrants, absolutely staple for me. I always like to lean on one side on my elbow or the arm slightly bent. Some people just like to have their arms slightly bent. Again, it's completely subjective to you. I personally feel it more when I do this. So so bending on one elbow, resting on one elbow and the arm slightly bent, but you could feel it actually more this way. So again, it's up to you to test it out and see what works more for you, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, just literally, with my resistance band, just bring the basically knee towards the ceiling. Yeah. Okay, so as wide as you can. And I don't want to see people doing this, okay? This is what are you doing, a kickback here? Kickback is different from a thigh hydrant, okay? Okay, don't do this, because what you're doing here, you're not even like going full range of motion. Going all the way up, okay? Full range of motion things I want you to do. And if you can't do it, it means that your band is too heavy, so you might want to invest in a lighter band if you can't go all the way up, okay? But always try and push yourself all the way up as wide as you possibly can. So that is, again, a great exercise that targets your upper glutes. Another great exercise is the clams. Right, a lot of people get this wrong actually, so I'm just gonna go over very quickly. I want you to keep your feet together throughout the whole movement. Nothing like this. So you're moving the feet, always glued together. And one thing that I actually do, this is the only exercise when I actually move my band slightly. Instead of keeping it above my knees, I literally keep it here where the knees are, because that's where the pressure is gonna come the most, okay? And you're gonna feel it loads more when you just place it on your knees rather than when you just place it above your knees. Again, great exercise for your side booty. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can hold a dumbbell here, okay, or a plate, just if you wanted to add weight, for example. But these are the main ones that I would say that target your top glutes, the top area of your glutes. Now, notes that I want you to know, and I want you to take notes when it comes to this kind of exercise. You must have seen that these are exercises where I either don't use any weight, or if I do, I will go lighter. The reason why is because we're targeting a little muscle here, which is our side booty, aka top area of our glutes as well, aka gluteus medius and maximus, gluteus medius and minimus, whatever you want to call it, okay? These are kind of accessory exercises, so you don't want to go heavy, you don't want to put 100 kilos while you're doing the cable exercise, you don't want to put the, because you physically won't be able to. So I want you to go lighter, and the rule is, as you might know already if you watch my previous videos, that when you go lighter, I want you to do high rep, okay, high repetitions with this kind of exercises. So between 20 to 30 reps when sometimes they're too easy, okay, and you want to do, for example, the banded monster walk that I showed you before. I want you to do 50 reps sometimes. I know that sounds like a lot, but because we're not using a heavy load, you have to compensate by doing a high volume, okay? 20 reps minimum to start with these kind of exercises. That being said, let's move on to our bottom area of our glutes. What kind of exercise target the bottom area of our glutes? Obviously for this video, I'm literally rushing so much, you can imagine, so I'm not going to use my actual weights. I'm only using demo weights just to show you. Just a little side note. So exercises target mainly our bottom area of our glutes, although in terms of hip thrust, I would say it's a bit of an exception. Hip thrust will tend to target the whole area of your glutes. And actually another thing that I need to tell you is that when you do an exercise, because muscles are connected, okay, so you will never just and only target your side booty or your bottom area of your glutes. You can, with those kind of exercise that I show you, you can obviously emphasize the focus on that area, but because muscles are connected, they'll always tend to target each other, the full muscle groups, okay, so because they're connected, which is a win-win for us, isn't it? We want to target our bunda area from all angles anyway, don't we? But however, there are, of course, ways to focus more on that area of our glutes more than others, okay? So I like to use a band, and the reason why I want you to use the band is because I can show you different variations when doing the hip thrust, because we can be smart about it. Okay, so weight on top of your pelvis, just nice and easy, looking forward the whole time. We know this, okay? Now, if you wanted to target your side booty as well, top area of your glutes as well, all you have to do is just literally add an abduction at the top, which is a combo that I love, and it will target this way your glutes. This will be like the best exercise. Like with this variation that I'm about to show you now, you will target everything, your glutes as a whole. Like, it's the perfection. It's literally the perfection. What you want to do is just go up and then abduct at the top and then go down. It's nice and simple, just a little abduction, okay? And as you go heavier as well with the barbell, you will notice this more. Guys, I'm gonna use the Smith machine, but you can use the barbell, the normal rack, free weights, whatever you want really. Or dumbbells, kettlebells, anything. This is the good morning. You can see literally your bottom glute stretching while you do this. This is a hinge movement. That means that your hips, it starts from your hips pushing back, okay? It's not you moving forward kind of thing. is the hips moving back. That is the first movement that you do, okay? So nice and simple. Just stretch all the way down, and you will also notice that will target your hamstrings as well. My hamstrings are so tight from yesterday because I did legs as well. It hurting so much. So all the way down, and what I want you to do is to keep looking forward. Follow the movement with your head as you go down. I want you to keep looking up, because what you'll see here, if you keep looking forward, as you keep adding weight, you can also add a lot of pressure to your cervical spine, okay? So the whole time you follow the movement. Okay, let me just do it here so you can see me better. So I want you to follow the movement as you descend down. So keep looking down with the movement, okay? Nothing like this. I think by now you should know, if you watch my previous videos, how to squat. If you don't, go watch them. It's really nice and simple, all the way down. Okay, full range of motion. And they obviously target, you can also feel it targeting your under glutes. Same thing with lunges, any types of lunges, split squats, anything, they all target your bottom area of your glutes. The only thing with lunges, I genuinely prefer them because you can isolate each cheek at one. You can isolate each cheek at a time, just because they are unilateral movement. That means you're doing a single leg movement. Okay, that's why they're usually better. It's better for those people that have muscle imbalances as well. Okay, the bottom, you start at the very bottom of the movement. You can do so many different types of deadlifts. You can start, especially if you're a beginner, you can start with a dumbbell and with a kettlebell. You can literally use anything, okay? All the way down, stretch and up. Let me actually move on to a different area so I can show you a little bit better. I just wanted to show you doing the same exercise with the same equipment. Just because you change the piece of equipment, it doesn't mean that you're targeting a different area. You're still targeting the bottom area of your glutes, okay? So if you wanted to do the good morning, you could use it with a dumbbell or even a barbell if you've got that at home as well. You could do that too. As I said, it's a hinge movement, so you start by pushing. The first thing you do is not moving your head forward or your torso forward, is your hips going first. It's the first thing that you do is your hips are moving backwards, okay? So starts from your hips. So push your hips, push, push, push. Just pretend that someone is pulling you from your bum, okay? From behind. That's what you need to imagine. All the way down, nice stretch. You feel it on your hamstrings as well, okay? You see that I'm just following the movement, so I'm looking down and then up. Squeeze, but not without doing this, arching your spine, okay? Your spine should always stay neutral, okay? Then same thing with the deadlifts that I was on about before. Again, exactly the same thing, is a hinge movement. So first thing you do, always pushing your hips back. Same thing, your eyes follow the movement. You look down as you descend down. Your spine remain neutral and then up. Okay, nice and simple. You could do that with a band as well. But with a band, if you've got a short band, it's maybe easier if you want to do a deadlift. It's easier to do one leg at a time. And it's also better because at home, to be fair, I always say that at home it's better to do single leg exercises because it's a bit difficult, more difficult, they're a bit harder. It's because you don't have the same weight. So actually it's better if you're at home if you do single leg deadlifts with the band. So nice and simple, exactly the same thing. And up. And up. Really nice and simple, exactly the same technique. If you wanted to add even more emphasis of your on the booty, you could do this variation for the squats, which I think is great. Personally, kneeling squats. Again, some people don't like those and they feel like they don't feel them. As always, that depends on genetics, okay? So it's up to you to test them out. Really nice and simple. On your knees, hip hinging. So pretend that someone is pulling you by your hips, okay? Someone is pulling you all the way down until you touch your feet. Okay, and at this point, you will feel it. You proper will feel it here. Okay, so it's proper. So when people say it targets your upper glute, it doesn't target your upper glute, okay? It targets your under booty. So nice and simple, and then you come up and squeeze. When you squeeze, as always, same thing. And I want you to extend your spine to forward, okay? You don't need to squeeze, because actually people think that the best bit of an exercise when you squeeze is not. The best bit of an exercise is actually when you stretch the muscle. That's when you cause the most damage, and that's how you will be able to repair your muscles and grow them even more. So actually the whole squeezing thing is so overrated. So I'll just show you one more time. So all the way down. Okay, touch your feet, and then back up. That's all the squeeze that I do. I don't do more than that. The best bit of the movement is here, when I'm here, at this point here, over here, okay? And up. Wow, guys, that's it. I feel like I showed you all the best exercises at least. Obviously, there will always be different variations of exercises, but if they're similar to one of the exercises that I showed you, it means that they target exactly the same area. I hope you found this video useful. Please make sure you like and subscribe as always, because I'm literally sweating right now. Like, I've been like 2 hours here filming for you, so please observe. And after this I'll actually literally run to the airport. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time with another video.